Hey guys, this is my first video for Lighting Design 1. I wanted to talk to you today just briefly about a few different alternatives for making a light plot. Since we moved to distance learning, you don't necessarily have the CAD lab at your access to or at your disposal to do these light plots. But I've got some alternatives for you that I think are going to work pretty well for us. So what I've done is the first alternative is actually just using Vectorworks, which is what I'm showing right here. This is actually Joe's light plot from Sweet Charity, and it's here and ready to go. So you can use that. How are you going to get Vectorworks? Again, if you go to Google Student Vectorworks, just so you know, in the on-course site, I have a link to a spreadsheet that's going to have all kinds of links and stuff for you. So there's a link to that in there. Just as a quick side note, they've now released Vectorworks Vision, which is a companion software that goes with it for lighting design, where you can actually look at what your lights are going to do, kind of a visualizer. They've now released that to students as well. You can sign up for that at that exact same site. So Vectorworks is option number 1. Option number 2. So I really sort of struggled hard and wanted to see if I could find an alternative that might be more web-based. So if your computer won't do Vectorworks, I'm going to recommend a program called Drafty App. That's what you see on the screen right now. Drafty App was created by Lucas Kresh. He's a lighting designer. I've met him a few times. Really, really nice person. And what this is designed to do is designed to make things go a little quicker. It maybe doesn't have as many bells and whistles, and it's not a full drafting program. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why I haven't switched to it full time, but I've been playing with it a little bit and I really do like how it works. The first thing I want to show you though is the YouTube page right here. You definitely want to go check that out. I'm not going to give you a tutorial today. I'm going to show you a couple little things today, but if you click on YouTube here, it will go to his YouTube site. I've used these tutorials. I've watched, you can see the ones I've done in red. I've watched these tutorials just to figure some things out. He has a whole bunch more here that you can look at, and I highly recommend if you look. The longest one is 526 is the longest video they got, so it's definitely worth looking into. So let's go back to the app itself. This is all web-based. Now, what he's offering to students is, first of all, everybody gets a 30-day free trial. If you're a student, you can email him, and again, on that spreadsheet, I have the instructions. You email, I think it's info@Drafty App. But again, please look at that website, and it'll have the exact address that you're supposed to. You email them and say, hey, I'm a student, and I wanted to get my account to become, I want an extra 3, or you want the student discount, which is an extra 3 months for free. So you're essentially going to get this app for 4 months for free, more than enough time to get through this class, okay? And it is fairly easy to learn. Like I said, you're going to have to need to do a couple tutorials, but once you start figuring some things out, I'm finding I'm getting around it pretty well. So what do? You click on Draft, and this is where you can proceed as a guest or sign in through Google. Now, I went ahead and paid for an account, so I'm spending the $19 a month just so that I have it while you guys are using it. If you guys are using it, then I want to make sure I have a copy of it so I can help you with it. So I'm going to use my personal account, and it's going to log me in. Now what you're going to see is the problem, the one I've been working on. So what you're going to see I actually did is, you'll notice I actually imported the little foxes set, which is your next set that you're going to have to do. So I went ahead and I imported that just so that you could see. I've gone through and I've actually put a few things in. It's fairly easy to use. These are the different think of these as layers. And it's layers and functions. So whenever you click on one of the functions, you're going to be able to mess with that. So the border has to do with things like your paper size. Once you click on one of these, look at all the menu bars down here. That they sort of change some things. So if I want to change my paper size, I go here, and that's where so I went ahead and made this one an ARC-E tall. I can go and switch it to an ARC-E, be a little shorter, but you can have a border, not have a border. Title block, you can change the title block here. This one where it says edit defaults, this is where you actually go in and put who you are, your street address and stuff like that, and that populates in all of your title blocks. Now I haven't done that yet. yeah, I'm currently on the monthly subscription. There's a pro and an up and a monthly. I'm on the monthly because I'm not quite there yet where I need to use it then. So if you click on units, that's lights. So if I click on a unit, then I can then click on these different units and I can place them in place. You'll notice as I'm actually putting them on this position, they're numbering and they auto number too. So, and they fix their auto numbering too. So how do you edit one of the lights? Well, you click on the light and you go down here. This is where you put the position, the purpose, the color, everything dimmer. That's where you put all of that in here. I'm not sure that I've named this position yet. That may be why the position is not auto-filling. But how do you add a light? Well, you go over here to where it says ERS and you click on that. Okay, now if you want to change that type of light, sorry, what you can do is you can go down here and you can change from ERS to a Fresnel, a PAR, or something else. Now, once you get that one done, you can copy it and you can paste it anywhere you want, and you can have as well. Well, that didn't work because it was doing the same. It was actually doing the exact same number. All right, so I got to figure that one out. I got to fix the unit numbers. I'll bet you if I drag it off, if I drag it back on, yep, there we go. That fixed the unit number. Now that Fresnel obviously is a little small, so I'd probably try to find a little bigger Fresnel unit. But this is where you can now add all the information here. How do you add in a position? You click on position and click on a pipe, and you can draw a pipe. And then, like I said, I just started copying and pasting them into other places. So you'd be like, well, how am I going to get the PDF of this? Well, in the file drives, I have gone and I've given you several different PDFs. And one of the PDFs is just a 1/2 inch full plot, and that's what you're going to use to import here. Where you can import that? Well, obviously Venue, okay? But just look through this stuff. It's pretty straightforward. So take a look at that. And like I said, I think Drafty App is a really, really good, solid solution for making a light plot. And go through some of those tutorials and see if you have any questions. The next program I want to talk about is called LX Free. LX Free, I thought was just Mac software, but it's not. It's Mac and PC software that's out there for free. He has versions that are paid that you can use just a little more for. So feel free to look into that more. But LX Free is going to give you more than you want. LX Free is based on a program called MacLux Pro. It's a program I used many years ago. It was the first lighting design program I ever used. It's awesome. I like it. I got away from it because it wasn't a full drafting software. So I couldn't do the set. I couldn't do those other things. And frankly, Vectorworks just does a whole lot more. But same thing. I came in here. I imported the PDF behind it, clicked on the document. I changed the paper size. Somewhere, I think it was the settings button here is where I changed the paper size. It wasn't here. I just can't remember where. Page setup and margins. Yep. And then I think I just went to File and Import to. Yep, there it is. Import. So I imported a graphic behind just so I could get the light plot in here. Again, I use that same full size 1/2 inch plot that's in the file. It's a PDF. Okay. So then just to add lights, I'm going to click over here and. Whoops. Nope. Well, okay. I was trying to drag one in, I think is why it didn't work. All right, I'm having trouble adding lights. Okay. But that's just because I haven't played with that much yet. But take a look at, there's a bunch of tutorials on YouTube. I actually gave you a link to a few of them if you want to learn how to use it. But it's pretty straightforward. And again, I apologize. I haven't played with this that much, but I wanted to give this as an option. It's probably not the better option. I do like Drafty a lot. So you're going to say to me, okay, Todd, I can't run either of those options. What should I do? Well, the last option is going to be, well, actually there's two more options. One, get out your vellum and start drafting. That's one way. Now it's going to be a little more difficult, and I understand that. So I've come up with an alternative, and here's what I'm looking at. What I've done is I've gone through and I've taken all the plots that you have, and I've printed them out in 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch. I think I prefer the 1/4 inch, but you guys can decide. And I put it on 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. So the PDF itself is just a bunch of 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper that you could print out, okay? And then the one thing you're going to have to buy is you're going to have to get a drafting template if you don't already have one. Now, there are some still up at school. If somebody's still around and wants to come get them and mail one to you, they can do that too. I can arrange to get them out of the lab if that's the case. But if not, they're fairly inexpensive. I put some links to them online. You can get them for under 20 bucks. And it's definitely worth having. Like I said, I'd recommend the 1/4 inch, which is what you see here. But essentially, all you have to do is print them out. And then here, I'm going to show you this kind of on the sideways. Sorry, I am sitting this way. So, and I'm going to take my 1/4 inch template, and I'm going to find a light. And I'm just going to draw it right here. Let me draw 2 of those. Then if I need my channel number, I can just find my circle, which I think is on my other template. And then add in the information. And then you can write all the information in there. Let me just zoom in there so you can see it a little better. Okay, so I just drew on it. Then you're going to want to go and draw in the pipe after you're done. Okay, originally I printed this out. I put these together to where the pipes were already in there, but what I found was it was too dark, and it kind of got in the way of the light, so you can add the pipe in later on. But essentially, if we zoom back out again, you can put this together on a kitchen table or something like that, and you can easily, well, and you can do a light plot. I won't say easily, but you can definitely continue to work and do the light plots. Well, what am I going to do about drafting, grading neatness? I'm going to take that into account with anything you guys put in. I'm going to definitely understand that situation. That doesn't mean they shouldn't be neat. They should be neat. They should be neat as you can possibly get them. But I need you to put out the effort here. But I think this is a way. Now, how are you going to get these uploaded? Well, a lot of home computers, I know mine does downstairs, it has a scanner. Scan them in, re-upload them to the Google Drive. Or if you can't scan them, just get your phone out and do the best you can to take a picture. You know, center on that one, and that would be pretty close right there. Okay, and then let me just look here and see how that turned out. Yeah, that works well. And see, I can zoom in there and make it look really, really good. So that's how you're going to send me. Real quick, I do need to sign off and go to another meeting, but also, if I forget to mention tomorrow, Lightwrite is also free. Right now, if you go to John McKernan's website, he has a free offer for students for the rest of the summer. So you can actually download Lightwrite if you need that. If not, you can do paperwork by hand if you need to. All right, that's all I've got right now. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you, most of you tomorrow.